Assalamualaikum and a very good day, everyone. My name is Abdul Majid Idrus, and I will be presenting the dramatic technique lesson plan. So, as shown on the screen, this is my lessons info. My lesson is for Form 2 students, or specifically 2 Zen, and the time allocated is 1 hour or double period, and the theme is people and culture. And the focus skill is speaking. Number of students is 30 students, and the dramatic technique is Skit, and the learning objectives are at the end of the lesson, the students should be able to pronounce the words about sports that are said by the teacher correctly. Second, construct 4 sentences on the sport that they love, and then 3 perform a skit in a group based on the assigned sport. And then the material used are worksheet, pictures or cards, and past 2 textbook and the skit video. So the reason why I pick speaking is because when it comes to skit, the main skill that's used there is speaking. Okay, they have to communicate in a skit, so I think it is easier and much more effective for me to apply this dramatic technique using this focus skill, which is speaking. Next, so here are the content standards. Main skills. Speaking 2.4, communicate appropriately to a small or large group on familiar topics. And the second one is complementary skill. Speaking 2.1, communicate information, ideas, opinions, and feelings intelligibly on familiar topics. So for the learning standards, the main skills. Speaking 2.4.1, communicate opinions or feelings about a story, event, or experience. And the complementary skill, speaking 2.1.5, express opinions or feelings about character and personality. So now, moving on to the pre-lesson. So the time allocated for this section is 3 minutes. So the procedure goes as follows. The teacher greets the students. Then second, the teacher explains the instruction to the students. So here are the steps. The teacher shows 4 cards to the students without them knowing what's written on the cards. So as you can see, those are the cards, the 4 cards. And then each card contains a name of a sport. Then the teacher will ask the students to pick a card. Then the teacher will act out the sport from the chosen card. Then the teacher will stop acting when the correct answer is said. And then all the steps from A to E will be repeated until all cards are chosen. So after this activity, the teacher will tell the students after the topic and the lesson's objectives. So let's pretend this is the card. So this is where the spots are written, and this is where the numbers are written. So the teacher will hold the cards with this facing the kids. Okay, so and then the reason why I pick this activity as the pre-lesson is because the assigned dramatic technique is Skit, and the teacher acting out some sports closely relates to Skit, which also involves the same thing, which is acting out. So I think this is a very good way to implicitly show what is a skit without telling them that this is a skit. Okay, and the second reason is because I prefer to start my class with teacher being a performer. As you can see, the teacher's role in this activity is a performer, and the reason is according to a study, students would appreciate it would be much effective for a teacher to be a performer, which is because a dynamic presentation of nonsense is valued more by most students than the most erudite and demanding series of facts. Okay, the nonsense here is because the actions that will be shown by teacher are not quite normal in a way, and what they are not, that those actions are not really seen every day on a daily basis on any other class. So that can be considered as nonsense, and it will be very effective to students. And this is according to research by Fox as cited by Ellsworth in 2001. So this is the lesson development. The time allocated for this activity is 50 minutes. So for awareness raising, the time allocated is 10 minutes. So the procedure goes as follows. The teacher hands out the worksheets. So as you can see on the screen, the yellow, the pastel color worksheet, this is the worksheet that will be handed out to the students. So the teacher lets the students check the meaning of the words in exercise 1. So the teacher reads the word in exercise 1 out loud, and then the students repeat after the teacher. So after each word is said, the student will repeat after the teacher, like says money, the student will say money, and then tournament, the students would say tournament, word by word. And then the teacher instruct the students to classify the words into humans and non-humans in the boxes underneath all the words in the upper section of the page. And then after the time allocated ends, the teacher tells the correct answers. And the reason why I prefer the students to check the meaning is because it is important for students to know the meaning of the words before proceeding with the activity. And then for appropriation activity, the procedure goes as follows. The teacher hands out the worksheets, and again, the pastel worksheet is the worksheet that will be handed out to the students. Then the teacher tells the student the instructions for the activity. Each student will have to construct 4 sentences about the sports they like. After they are done with the writing, the teacher will randomly pick 3 students to read their sentences to the class. Okay, the reason why I picked this writing activity as appropriation stage and as a part of a speaking session is because even though it logically speaking, it doesn't really, they don't really connect to each other very well. But writing is actually a good way to teach speaking because it can act as a way of easing the transition from learning to using. And this from a book, How to Teach Speaking by Thornbury, 2005. So for towards autonomy, the procedure goes as follows. The students are divided into 6 groups of 5 students. The teacher will elect a leader for each group. The teacher gives brief explanation on skits. Before explaining the instructions, the teacher will play a video that shows the basics of an impromptu skit. This is because the type of skit that will be done for this lesson is impromptu skit. So this is the video that I will play to the students. So, and then the teacher will explain the instructions of the next activity to the students. Each group will be doing skits based on the topics that they are assigned with, or topics as in the sports they will get, and the topics, the environment of the skit will be in a tournament. And then in order to get topics, the leader of each group will go to the front of the class to draw lots. Okay, and then after the leader of a group has obtained a topic, the group will have only 1 minute to prepare for a skit. After the 1 minute ends, they will begin their skit. The skit should be 4 minutes max. After the group is done with their skit, the next group leader will come in front and pick a topic for the group. The cycle repeats until all of the groups are done performing their skits. So the reason why not all the group leaders go to the front of the class all at the same time is because this is to avoid unfairness. As I mentioned before, the type of skit that will be done in this lesson is impromptu skit, and by having all of the leaders to the front of the class, this will make the remaining 5 group, and except the first one, will have more time, especially the last one will have plenty of time to prepare for their skit, which will show unfairness to the first one or to the earlier groups. So by having, so the cycle will be the leader will draw a topic for their group, and then they will present, and then the next leader will come to the front of the class, pick, and then they have 1 minute, and then they will present. It repeats. And then so as you can see on the screen, the left side of the screen, that is the table arrangement. And the reason why they are arranged like this is because it will be easier for them to communicate. 55555, as you can see, and also they can still see the whiteboard, so they don't have to if we rotate it like this, like the students will face each other, then the one that is facing the his friend or her friend will not be able to look at the whiteboard. So like this, they can look, even though sideways, they can still look at it. Okay, and then so for the post lesson, the procedure is the student will be chosen by the teacher to recap, and then the student will recap the lesson. After the recap, the teacher will add any piece of information that the student left out, if any, and then before the class is dismissed, the teacher will remind students to stay safe. That is all from me. Thank you very much.